to smoke cigarette. And the whole city of Bat Yam, which was totally not religious, city on the beach, almost no one was religious. No yeshivot, barely few synagogues, barely in the whole city. The entire city knew him. Be careful from that criminal. Why? Because he smoked cigarette. This was the level of the secular people 42 years ago exactly. 2 generations ago. 42 years ago, Rabotai. That's it, 2 generations ago. Meaning in the time of your grandparents or some of your young boys here. If someone smoked cigarette, he was a criminal. If someone had a tattoo, he was a criminal. Nobody wants to talk to him. If someone touched drugs, now one person will agree to talk to him. No one. Secular. Forget about religious. Stay away from this guy. People taught 1,000,000 times before the cares. Nobody cares. Among the guys, when the parents were not around, today, Hashem Yerachem, how people talk. What happened? People went too far away from God and from the book of life. That's why the soul is so lonely, so empty, so far, does not get any reflection of any divine light. And as results of that, everyone is searching for spirituality. Since they cannot find, they look at people that do drugs and they think, oh, he's in the moon. Later they'll be dead and go to hell. That's the moon that they get. Unfortunately. Thinking, oh, it's helping me. But we don't need all this garbage. we have connection to Hashem. Every time we learn, we feel unbelievable. Feel the light. When you read Tehillim, you want to cry. You have to hold the tears. Where does it come from, these emotions? That's called spirituality, ruchaniyut. Let me read to you some of the things we read on Shabbat that you probably didn't pay attention to. In the book of the Kuzari, it was around 800 years ago. There was a nation of Goyim named Kuzar. And they decided to become religious, but they didn't have a religion. There were 3 major religions in the world: Islam, Christianity, and Judaism. So they started to debate them. They came to the Arabs, they came to the Christians, then they came to the Jews, they spoke to Rabbi Yehuda Halevi, almost 800 years ago. They asked a lot of questions, they had a king. And in the end, they decided they will all convert to Judaism. They became all converts. Now I want to tell you, if you know, convert is a very, very high level of a Jew. Very high level. It's not a regular Jew from birth. Because a regular Jew from birth, the Torah says not to deceive him, not to lie to him, not to steal for him, not to kill him, yes. But when it comes to Gentiles that converted, became Jewish, there are 36 verses in the Torah how to admire them and respect them and not to deceive them and to help them and not to take advantage on them. If someone messed with a convert, it's much worse than to mess with a Jew from birth. Also with a Jew from birth you're not allowed. Also with Gentiles you're not allowed to mess. But if you mess with a Gentile that became a Jew, it's similar to hurting an orphan or a widow. When the Torah said that if the orphan and the widow would scream to me because you're giving them hard time, I will punish you severely. A huge punishment. The converts are in the same category. Why? They come from a different nation. Once they convert to Judaism, they have no more connection to their old days. Their biological family are not their family. Once they go into the mikveh, they go in. Christina, she comes out Sarah. The Christina is no longer exist. She gets a new soul merging into her. It's a whole different person. Not only that, even 2 brothers that convert, once they go in, let's say Chris and Jack, 2 non-Jews, they go into the mikveh, as they come out, it's like 2 babies who were just born. They really don't have biological parents anymore, because it's new souls that merge into them once they go into the mikveh. Why? They have to go deep into the water, spiritual, natural water. Why? Because going into the mikveh, the water that covers the person, the bad spirit that exists on every one of us cannot enter water. Spirit cannot enter water. Going into the water purify a person. Even when a person is impure because he touched a dead body or something, even dead body you need a red cow, it's a little bit more strict impurity. But let's say a woman has her nida, she goes into the mikveh once the blood is over, it purifies her. I'm talking spiritually, not physically. Physically she can take 5,000 showers and clean herself from head to toe, but she's still impure. This is spiritual impurity, nothing to do with the dirt. You can be sweaty, you didn't take a shower, you go into the natural lake, in and out, you purified yourself, even though you smell not so good, because the body is not so clean. But we're not talking about the cleanness of the body, we're talking about the spiritual purity. So, Rabotai, when someone converts, he becomes a son of God, a daughter of God. Attacking them, putting them down, making them upset, is going directly against son's children, Hashem's children. You have to be super stupid to do such thing. So, for instance, let's say if you have people come in a synagogue to collect money in the morning, a lot of Hasidim comes. You give this $1, $1. Oh, you see one, Ger Tzedek, a convert, give him 5. And have in mind to make God extra happy. Why? ואהבת את הגר, ואהבתם את הגר. You should love the converts. Do you understand or no? Rav Sharia Devlitsky was one of the biggest rabbis of our generation. He was also a very big Kabbalist, very holy man. So a friend of mine is a rabbi in Israel. He was learning with him every day. He used to go to his house and they learned 2-3 hours every day. So there was a cleaning guy, a non-Jew in Israel, cleaning guy that's cleaning the shul. One time the cleaning guy decided to convert. All day he hears Torah in the shul. He got the point that Judaism is the divine truth. So he decided to convert. From the minute he converted, Rav Sharia Devlitsky doubled his pay for cleaning the shul. He used to make 1,000 shekel, let's say. Now he gave him 2,000 shekel. So my friend, the rabbi, asked him, Rabbi, why all of a sudden you double his salary? Because he didn't ask for a raise. He was paying well before. He said, now you have to treat him all different. He's a convert, he's Ger Tzedek. Every time I give him double, I have in mind to make Hashem pleased. Why? ואהבת את הגר. So you see that a person can be a complete lost goy and decide to do the right thing, and he sacrifices and he comes and he begins to keep Shabbat and modesty and kosher food and comes to learn Torah every day. And then he goes into the mikveh, and it's Baruch Hashem, a whole new, brand new baby. These converts, they have a huge reward in the afterlife. Why? It's not someone that grew up in religion. All his parents were religious, everyone around learned Torah, holidays. It wasn't something new to him. Someone who come from far. I don't know, Italian, Chinese, Thailand, Indian, even Arabs. A few Arabs even converted. What background they have? They have nothing. They come from zero. They start from zero, and then they begin to learn Hebrew, and they're starting to learn all the customs, and every day it's a new school for them. They learn more and more and more and more. This is unbelievable. That's why the Torah is so sensitive about this. So the Kuzarim, they're all converted. Who are the Kuzarim today in the Jewish nation? Some say, I don't know for sure, but it's very logical, that the Georgian Jews are the Kuzarim, the Gruzinim, from Georgia. Why people say it? Because the Georgians don't have any Kohanim. You go to Georgian shul, no Kohanim. The Kohanim are Bukharian and Persians and Syrians. But they don't have any Kohanim. One time a Georgian rabbi said to me, why you say it? That's not true. I say, well, first of all, it's not a shame to be a grandson of a convert. This is real converts. They converted for the truth of Hashem. They're at a very high level. There's nothing to be ashamed of. So no, we're not ashamed of it, but it's simply not true. So I say to him, why it's not true? He said, because when Bet HaMikdash was built, we sent all of our Kohanim into Jerusalem. They needed to serve in Bet HaMikdash. So I say to him, oh yeah? What about the lefty Kohanim? Those who write with their left hand. They can't do the service in Bet HaMikdash. What about those who have birth defects? Not one Kohen left in the entire Georgia. It should have been today thousands. 1% after 2,000 years can become a tribe. So why do I say that we don't know for sure? Why do I say? Because even Kohanim that did not serve in Bet HaMikdash, they use them for side services. Like they took care of the wood, they made them dry. When they chop them, they make them dry, because when you put it in a fire in a Bet HaMikdash, they have to be dry. If they are humid, the fire cannot burn the tree. The tree have to be completely dry. So the Kohanim that were lefty or they had all kinds of defects, they still gave them all kinds of things to do, but they were not directly in holiness. They were side missions. So there is still a possibility that maybe they send even the ones with the defects to Jerusalem. Maybe it's possible, I don't know, only Hashem knows. But one thing we do know, that there was a nation of the Kuzarim and they're all converted. Now listen to what's written in the book of the Kuzari. It says like this: there are 4 levels in the creation. We have people, we have animals, chai, we have tzomeach, plants, trees, and we have raw material, domem. Again, domem meaning raw material that cannot move, it's the lowest level. What's the next level above? Tzomeach, things that grow from the ground. That's a higher level. What comes after that? Chai, creatures, all kinds of species, dogs, cows, sheep, camels, horses, every animal. But they don't speak. They don't speak the divine language. And then there is one level above the animal, it's Chai Medaber. Chai is a species that is alive and also speak and have a divine soul. Those are people. So people, animals, plants, and trees, and raw material. Say the Kuzari in a book, it says like this: a person has all 4 in him. He's alive, he has blood like animals, okay. He's growing, also eating things that grows, and also have raw material in him, bones and stuff. And he is able to speak, which the other doesn't have all 4. So it says like this. It says, since a person has all 4, he is the most dangerous to the world. He can destroy the world. For instance, which animal is more dangerous? A human being that wants to kill, or a lion that wants to kill? Who is considered a bigger criminal? Lion wants to kill the zebra now, he's hungry. Person wants to kill his competition in a business. Who is a bigger criminal? Obviously a person is a monster. It's a killer. Some places will give him a death penalty. No one is coming with any complaints to the lion for eating the zebra. Why? He needs to eat. He has no other way. That's the way of the world, the nature. But a person has a way not to kill. If he kills, it's for personal greed, for personal reason. The animals don't kill because of greed or racism or all kinds of other human hatred. No. But the interesting thing, Rabotai, Every level is included in a level above him. We have raw material. The raw material is included in the plants. The plants that grow has raw material and plants. They are included in the animals. The animals, which is raw material and growing and alive, is included in a human being. So far we have 1, 2, 3, 4. The level of the human being has also something that no one else has, is a divine soul. Meaning a spark from God himself, which is eternal, is in the soul of Adam. And from then on it went to all his children. All the 8 billion people in the world have that spark in them. That's why when a soul comes out of the body, the soul can never die. The soul cannot die. The soul has no limitation of memory, of distance, of traveling. The soul can be reincarnated in a mosquito. Right now the soul is in your body. You are 6 feet tall. The soul fills up your body. It's a spirit. If Hashem decides that you'll be reincarnated in a bee, or in a butterfly, or in a tiny mosquito, that soul that right now is functioning your entire body can go into that mosquito, or into that little dog, or into that little raven. So the soul is not limited to space. The soul cannot be cut. If it cuts in the middle, now it's going to be half and half. Half a pound and half a pound. Cut it again, 4 quarters. Cut it again, 8 eighths. No. The soul, you can cut 1,000,000 times the same soul, like fire. You have a candle, from one candle you can make 1,000 candles. It does not decrease the fire of the first temple at the candle. You understand what I'm saying, right? So, Rabotai, Yaakov come and he see Rachel for the first time. Once it's your soulmate, immediately something happens when you see the woman that's supposed to be your wife. What does it mean, soulmate? What does it mean? When the soul of a man comes into the world, there is a soul of a woman that comes to the world that belongs to that soul of the man. At one point there were one soul, and then they split to 2. One comes to the world, and the next one comes to the world right after. Could be 5 years later. Once the next soul comes to the world, Hashem finds the right time to put them together. Oh, I have a girl for you. You should date her. She's great. She's that. Where, what? They go out on a date. If it's the right soulmate, it'll go through. If not, someone will already ruin it. It's not meant to be. I want to tell you an interesting story. You know, Rav Chaim Kanievsky passed about a year ago. He was the biggest rabbi on earth, close to 95 when he passed. And one person came to him. He was in his 40s. Person in his 40s, not married. He came to Rav Chaim Kanievsky and he said to him, Rabbi, can you give me a blessing to get married? I can't find my soulmate. Rav Chaim Kanievsky told him, your soulmate were not born yet. Do you know what a horrible news you just found out? You in your 40s and your soulmate were not born. Meaning, let's say she will be born tomorrow. Give her 20 years to become an adult. That means you're not going to get married for the next 20 years. You'll be in your 60s. It's a disaster. Plus, usually a 20 years old girl doesn't want a man in his 60s. So what is he telling you, the rabbi? That you're going to die single? It's very bad news. But 3 months later, they found him a girl. And it was a perfect match. What did they find out? Few days after he went to Rav Chaim Kanievsky, this girl converted. So that soul didn't come to the world yet. But few days later, she went into the mikveh. She got that soul. And once she got it, someone made a great shidduch and they got married. See, it's unbelievable. I want to tell you a story. Many years ago, there was a Korean girl. She was dating an Israeli Temani, Yemenite, Temani. They had a very intense relationship. But the Temani, he said to her, listen, we are the Temanim, we were all very religious. I'm the first one in my family that is not so religious. My father is traditional. My grandfather was a Mori in Yaman teaching Gemara. You want to marry me, you have to convert. So the girl went to start learning how to convert. So the more she learns, Rabbi, back then they didn't have your book yet, Welcome to Judaism. She had to do it the hard way. Rabbi Golan is a blessing for the generation. He's in the bed din here of Rav Eliyahu ben Chaim in Queens. And because they have who knows how many, probably thousands of cases in the last 30 years of people coming to convert, so he gathered everything into one book. Welcome to Judaism. Blessing, you have it in 4 languages: Hebrew, English, Russian, and Spanish. Beautiful on an expensive paper with pictures, with instructions. Give it to me if we're already mentioning it. So, Baruch Hashem, in one book, if you learn this book perfectly from A to Z, you're basically ready for conversion. As you can see here. And it's mamash unbelievable. All the pictures inside, instructions, 13 principles, 10 commandments, how to pray. Unbelievable. Relationship, women, mikveh, raising children, everything you got there. So today when someone tells me, okay, I want to convert, first thing I say to him, you must know this book by heart. Once you know this book by heart, when you come around Jews, you'll be surprised. Sometimes you'll know better than them. I gave this book, remember the Hasid who helped us to store it? Hasid Satmer, religious from birth. He's probably 35. All his life religious, learning yeshivot. So he helped us to store those books, so he was curious. He started to read it. He said to me, you know how many things in the book I didn't know about? You know how many things it educated me? I started to tell my friends, the Hasidim, trust me, you need this. Why? Because even us that will learn Torah for so many years, there are certain things over there that not everyone knows. So, the interesting part is this Temani said to the girl, you have to convert. So she started to convert. So she went to Ulpana, somewhere in Israel. She started to learn daily. Then she came back to convert. She said to the Temani, I don't want you. Sorry, you're not religious enough for me. So the Temani came to me and said, I got her to convert, now she's dumping me. So it's about time you wake up and do tshuva. He had no choice. Baruch Hashem, he became very, very religious, and then they moved to Israel, established a beautiful religious family, and he, in the end, became, if I'm not mistaken, until today is an avrech, learning Torah. Hashem has his way. Sometimes you don't know how it happens. Sometimes you think you're going to take the Goya and send her for conversion, but in the end, she's going to save your soul. You want to be with me? I'm Shomer Shabbat. I'm going to be modest. I'm going to go to the mikveh. I eat strictly kosher. You sure you want to be with me? Listen, I only sent you to get the paper. I didn't expect you to be a rebbitzin. What do you mean? It's the truth. I told you the story about the Sicilian Italian Goyarno. You listen to this. One time I get a phone call from an Israeli from Florida, Cohen, Israeli. Rabbi, ma arashta li t'chaim. You ruined my life. Ma, I have a non-Jewish girlfriend. She is Sicilian. We just watched your debate with the Christian priest, the professor. She told me, listen, I'm not allowed to be with you. I'm sorry. What do you mean? God is not happy that Jews go with non-Jews. It's against the Torah. It's nothing to do with racism. Nothing to do with racism. I explained it many times. It's nothing to do with who's better. The Goy or Goya can be 1,000,000 times better than a Jew. And the Jew has restriction not to go with anybody that is not Jewish. It's restriction regardless who is better. So, what's going to be now? the guy said to him, why don't you come to Monsi, to our yeshiva, be 2-3 weeks, learn, we will help you. No, I'm working, my boss is going to fire me. So I said to him, I don't understand, she's more religious than you, she's telling you that she's not allowed to be with you, you watch the debate, you watch the truth and you don't care, but she cares. He said to me, apparently, Tov, Rabotai, what happened? They have a child now, together. She said to him, take the boy, convert him, I'm not Jewish, so the kid is not Jewish, convert him, take him, raise him as a Jew. I would live with that. Look what a noble woman. So now, it really breaks the heart. It's a tragedy. Family, they have to get divorced now. They're not married, they don't need to get divorced. What happened? A few months later, the girl is now wondering about her origin. She started to investigate. She found out that her grandmother was Jewish. She went to the Bet Din HaGadol in Jerusalem, the big Jewish court. She gave them all her findings. They continued the research, and they gave her a letter that she is originally a Jew, and she doesn't need to convert. Why it's critical? Because if she would convert to Judaism, she cannot marry a Kohen. Kohen cannot marry a convert. All other Jews can marry converts. The Kohanim, the family of the Kohanim, they're not allowed to marry converts. So even if she would convert, he would still not be allowed to be with her. So then you have to separate them. But she went and found out that all along she was Jewish. And they were able to have a few more kids, I believe 6 or 7. Baruch Hashem. She moved to Israel, they moved to Israel. So here you go, sometimes there's a happy end. You know, time is running out.